In a surprising turn of events, Mercedes' Toto Wolff has finally spoken up about a big departure coming up in just 3 races. His choice of words left fans of the sport stunned, especially when he hinted at feeling somewhat relieved by Hamilton's decision to part ways with the team. This shift brings up many questions. Does this signal a loss of confidence in Hamilton after 2021? And if so, is Mercedes steering in the right direction? Watching Hamilton, a 6-time champion with Mercedes, prepare to step away from the team after the 2024 season is bound to be an emotional moment in Formula One's history. Yet, while fans brace for this farewell, Mercedes seems less concerned. Wolff even welcomed Hamilton's choice to activate the exit clause, as it spared him the challenging task of informing one of the sport's legends of their parting ways. Such reactions raise eyebrows about the team's sentiment toward a driver who has contributed significantly to their success. This shift marks a notable chapter in Formula One as Hamilton and Mercedes part ways, leaving fans and experts alike to wonder about the implications. After all, Hamilton was central to Mercedes' dominance, earning 6 drivers' championships with the team and leading them to an unprecedented 8 consecutive Constructors' Championships since the turbo-hybrid era began. Wolff's recent comments, however, shed a new light on the situation. He expressed that Hamilton's choice to depart for Ferrari made things simpler, as it sidestepped the delicate task of Mercedes informing their iconic driver that they wanted to go in a new direction. Reflecting on the events, Wolff revealed, "Hamilton's announcement made things easier for us, saving us from having to tell such an iconic figure that we were thinking of moving on." This candor from Wolff has left fans questioning if Hamilton, despite his legendary status, has been shown the respect he deserves. Hamilton has long been the driving force behind the team's success, and these revelations point to some deeper tensions beneath the surface. The upcoming move to Ferrari signals a bold shift for Hamilton, as well as a serious challenge for Mercedes in finding someone to fill his shoes. According to Wolff, Hamilton's decision to activate the exit clause came as no complete surprise, yet it still left Mercedes with limited time to secure a worthy replacement. Instead of extensive scouting, they made the unusual choice to promote their young talent, Antelli, directly to Formula One. Originally, the plan for Antelli was a gradual entry into the sport, but now he's stepping in sooner than anticipated. Wolff admitted that, in hindsight, he expected Hamilton might leave, especially given how the team often favored Russell's input over Hamilton's when it came to car adjustments. This raised further questions about how Mercedes values Hamilton's contributions, especially considering his impact on the team's success. Regardless of personal views on Hamilton, it's hard to overlook the champion's legacy and influence, and Ferrari's investment in him underscores their confidence that he still has plenty to offer in the coming seasons. Hamilton has hinted at counting down the days until the last 3 races are over, signaling he may be ready to part ways with Mercedes. Throughout the season, he's faced challenges with car setups and last-minute adjustments that consistently hampered his race performance. Meanwhile, these issues seem to affect Russell far less, leading many in the paddock to speculate that preferential treatment was in place from the start of the 2024 season, soon after Hamilton's announcement. These circumstances could tarnish Hamilton's farewell tour with Mercedes, but the story doesn't end there. Right after the season finale in Abu Dhabi, rumors swirled that Mercedes initially tried to block Hamilton's move to Ferrari. This only highlights how carefully Mercedes has managed its relationship with Hamilton, ensuring that every step remains diplomatic. Wolff even shared that he first learned of Hamilton's decision through Carlos Sainz Sr., who reached out to discuss the incoming switch for the 7-time world champion. Reflecting on the moments leading up to Hamilton's decision, Wolff recalled, 2 weeks before the announcement, Sainz Sr. called me up to discuss the move. Then, I began hearing from other drivers' families which hadn't happened before. That's when I knew something was unfolding. He even messaged Ferrari's team principal, jokingly asking if they were about to take his driver, though he received no reply, a surprising silence from someone he considered a close colleague. Wolff's focus remains squarely on the team's future, and his outlook reflects a practical approach, knowing that driver performance can shift with age. In Formula One, as in other sports, keeping a fresh lineup is key. Just as legendary football managers Ferguson and Guardiola built teams with both established stars and emerging talents, Wolff appears intent on preparing Mercedes for the next generation. This strategy was a central factor behind Mercedes offering Hamilton a 1-year extension, leaving the door open for both parties to reevaluate in 2025. Wolff elaborated on the rationale behind Hamilton's short-term contract, stating, There's a reason we signed a 1+1 year deal. We're in a sport where mental sharpness is everything, and each driver has a natural peak. Preparing for the future is crucial. By structuring the contract this way, Mercedes has secured Hamilton for 2024, while keeping 2025 open, offering flexibility for both sides. WOLFF respects Hamilton's choice to explore his options, especially since joining Ferrari could be the final chapter in his storied career, a move that might involve a bit of risk but also the potential for a high-stakes reward. The decision also means Russell is now viewed as the future leader of the team. Although Russell has demonstrated promise, he will face stiff competition from Intelli, a determined young driver with a fierce competitive edge. Russell's success as team leader is far from certain, especially with a rising star eager to prove himself. This transition represents a pivotal moment for Mercedes as they aim to return to championship contention. Many in the Formula One community are now questioning Hamilton's level of motivation as he prepares to leave Mercedes. Some believe his passion has waned, especially given his recent comments. He even mentioned that he'd prefer driving the iconic McLaren MP44, famously piloted by Ayrton Senna, over the current W5 model he's been handling at Mercedes. This sentiment was highlighted after the Brazilian Grand Prix when Hamilton shared a candid moment with his race engineer Bono, remarking that if this was their final race together, it was a disappointing way to end. These hints suggest that Hamilton may be disheartened by the challenges he's faced this season, particularly with a car setup that has often hindered his performance. Describing the car's handling as driving a plank of wood, with no suspension, Hamilton's frustrations have been evident. Meanwhile, his teammate, Russell, has experienced far fewer issues, leading to ongoing talk within the paddock about the team's divided support. Some believe Mercedes set this dynamic early in 2024, giving Russell a distinct edge over Hamilton in their final season together. Adding to the tension, there's talk that Mercedes initially attempted to prevent Hamilton from joining Ferrari immediately after the season's conclusion in Abu Dhabi. This move reflects how carefully Mercedes is managing their final commitments to Hamilton, ensuring every obligation is met. WOLFF also acknowledged he had heard whispers about Hamilton's intentions from a surprising source, Carlos Sainz Sr., who had learned of the plan to bring Hamilton to Ferrari in 2025, replacing his son. For WOLFF, these revelations offered both a chance to brace for the transition and a reminder of how quickly things can shift in Formula One. Reflecting on these events, WOLFF shared, "Just 2 weeks prior, I got calls from drivers' fathers, people who wouldn't normally reach out. That's when I sensed something was up." Although he reached out to Ferrari's team lead with a message about the rumored move, he received no reply, a silence he found telling. WOLFF's decision to sign Hamilton on a 1+1 contract was strategic. Formula One requires quick thinking and constant awareness. Everyone reaches a peak in their career, and part of my role is to prepare Mercedes for the future, he explained. By keeping the contract flexible, both Mercedes and Hamilton could adapt as circumstances change. With Hamilton's potential switch to Ferrari, it feels like the perfect opportunity for both parties to pursue new paths, and WOLFF appears to support Hamilton's decision to take on this new chapter in his career. However, moving forward, all eyes will be on Russell as he takes up the mantle at Mercedes. While Russell has displayed promising potential, the arrival of Intelli, a young, relentless driver with a drive to excel, adds another layer of competition. This changing dynamic could make or break Mercedes' ambitions to reclaim their former dominance. With new talent in the mix, Mercedes faces a critical test in rebuilding its lineup to return to the forefront of Formula One. Questions linger about Hamilton's current driving spirit, with some observers believing his enthusiasm may be fading. His recent remarks suggest a growing disconnect with the team's direction, as he voiced a preference for driving the legendary MP44, the car once steered by Ayrton Senna, rather than his current W5. After the recent race in Brazil, Hamilton hinted at a sense of closure with his race engineer Bono, suggesting that if it was their last time together, it wasn't the ending he had envisioned. Hamilton's frustrations with the car's performance, describing it as like a plank without suspension, underline his struggle with a setup that's often been unpredictable. Russell, meanwhile, has managed to avoid these issues, adding fuel to the speculation of preferential setups within the team. Since the early days of the 2024 season, the paddock has been abuzz with talk of Mercedes favoring Russell, a situation that may shape how Hamilton's last races with the team unfold and leave a lasting impact on the legend's farewell. As Hamilton nears the end of his journey with Mercedes, fans and analysts alike are left to ponder whether he was treated fairly by the team that saw him rise to unparalleled success. Some suggest Mercedes may regret this parting of ways, despite WOLFF's outwardly composed statements. The dynamics within the team have certainly evolved, and with the arrival of fresh talent like Antelli and the prominence of Russell, Mercedes is focused on building a new future. Meanwhile, Hamilton's legacy remains firmly rooted in Formula One history. The possibility of him donning Ferrari red in 2025 is a thrilling prospect for fans, signaling what could be an iconic closing act to his career. As he prepares for his last few races with Mercedes, the story of his career stands as one of unmatched achievements and relentless passion. Whether or not Mercedes will come to miss their legendary driver, Hamilton's impact on the team and the sport is undeniable. What's your take? Was Hamilton treated as he deserved, or is this simply a part of Formula One's ever-evolving landscape? Share your thoughts below. And if you're eager for more updates and insights into the latest stories shaking up the world of Formula One, don't forget to watch the video on the latest drama with Lance Stroll, Aston Martin, now showing on your screen.